R.Shea Brewing's fall seasonals are hitting the shelves now. In my opinion, a little bit too early in the season, but if you want to sell beer, we are being pulled in by the retailers. They want to make sure this is off the shelf by the time Thanksgiving hits to make way for all the Christmas stuff. So we kind of understand. But we have 3, possibly 4 fall releases. One of them's not shown here. That's more of a later fall release, hot chocolate. But we have 2 new ones. Last year, we just started with Twitchy, our PumpkinPie Spice Habanero Imperial Stout. We also had maple mashed sweet potatoes. We're not bringing that back this year. But we've added our standard pumpkin ale and our Oktoberfest to the fall distribution seasonal release. Now, a little background on these beers. The Valley opened, 6 years ago. We've been brewing these 2 beers, the pumpkin ale and the Oktoberfest, that entire time. Every year, we'll brew a couple of batches, release it. And when we opened Canal Place, we brewed bigger batches of pumpkin ale and Oktoberfest. You guys loved them. So we decided to release them to distribution this year and see how they go. Now, the premise behind the pumpkin ale is it's more of something that I want to drink, so it's a little bit selfish. We've evolved this recipe in the Valley over the years to be just a good 5-ish% light, easy drinking beer with just a hint of those pumpkin pie spices that you know that it is a fall seasonal. But remember, as a distribution, we kind of have these lined up as how you should be drinking these throughout the fall season. So pumpkin ale, this is kind of like your pre-fall, your late summer beer. It's already out on the shelves, all of these. Start with the pumpkin ale. It's still going to be hot out, like in the 80s, possibly 90s. That's why I kept this beer a lighter in body, easy drinker. So when you do see it on the shelves, it's something that you can drink in still the hot weather as it transitions to full fall. And then you get into the Oktoberfest, which is more of a September drinker, a little bit more maltier. We've been tweaking this recipe for years. It's pretty much a simple recipe. It is pretty much half Munich 10 and half brewer's malt, sometimes with some Pilsner malt. Easy recipe. And we have been pulling back the bitterness on it over the years to make it, again, a nice, easy drinker. It may not be stylistically the Oktoberfest, but it's what we want to drink. Malty, as it gets chillier, that's a good beer. And the pumpkin ale, it's a little more complex recipe. It uses a good half dozen grains. We start with brewer's malt. We've got Crystal 20, 40, 60, and 80. Those will give it some of that amber color, a little bit of body and mouthfeel. And then we come to the Twitchy Pumpkin Spice Habanero. Now this one is our standard 9.25% Imperial Stout recipe. It uses brewer's malt also, but the crystals change a little bit. They're a little more darker in color and profile. We use Crystal 40, 80, and 120, and then also chocolate malts and roasted barley for that stout character. Once it's done fermenting, we will add usually about 2 pounds per barrel of Pro Coffees, local coffee roasters, pumpkin pie spice coffee beans. And then we'll add some habanero too, just to put the R.Shea spin on it. We're not afraid of heat. It's a great combination. You guys loved it last year when it hit distribution. Just something different out there. So that is these fall releases. So we're gonna start drinking this. This is your pre-fall, late summer beer. Transition to September for the Oktoberfest. And as it gets colder, you're solidly in the fall, got those crispy evenings, you'll start cracking these out over the fire. So let's start pouring these, see how they look. So I get the pumpkin pie spices right there. Particularly this one. We've tweaked a lot over the years, the amount of pumpkin, the amount of spices, and the amount of crystals to get that balance that we want. So that's the pumpkin ale. Without it being overwhelming on the palate. Because between now and Christmas, you've got a lot of spiced beers that are going to be assaulting your palate. We want to have those as balanced and drinkable as we can. So the Oktoberfest, and I'm pouring these in the glassware that we recommend drinking them out of. So the pumpkin ale, the Oktoberfest, and a Nonic or similar glass is the Oktoberfest. The label art on this, it's in development. This is the first time we've done this label art for the pumpkin ale and Oktoberfest. It was originally more of a picture leaves, fall leaves color on the background, but we wanted to put our R.Shea grunge effects to it to make it a little bit different. So that's that one. Nice copper color. Malty, not too bitter on the end. That's what we've been paring down over the years. It's not a heavy Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest, there's a lot of styles between them. You can go light Oktoberfests to darker ones. This is kind of in between, kind of what my palate likes. And let's go for this one. Now this one probably changes a little bit year to year between the coffee bean batches, how they make the coffee beans with the flavor, and how the Habanero comes out every year, and how that works, and how our palates change as we're brewing them year to year. A little bit more Habanero, a little bit less. So this, you definitely get the coffee and the pumpkin pie spices. It's a much more richer aroma. That is nice. There's the heat right now. It's not overwhelming. It builds about 5 seconds after the first sip, then it just stays there. Never overwhelming. You don't need to grab a glass of water, drink some pumpkin ale and wash it out. No, we're careful. We're good at balancing these things. A few more sips in, it'll build just a little bit more. This, not that I super remember last year's version of this, the Habanero maybe toned back just a little, just based on what I recollect. And it's all about striking that balance with the public. You want more Habanero, one camp, the other camp, we want less Habanero. So if we don't please any of you, then we've done our job perfectly. So you're going to find these on the shelves soon. Our distributor picked up a giant semi-truckload last week, and they are loading the shelves this week. They were picking up another half batch of these this week. And then it's on to our next fall seasonal hot chocolate, and then I don't even want to say it, Christmas, that's coming. So a good lineup for the entire fall spectrum. They'll be released at our tap room sometime during August and through September, definitely for the Oktoberfest and the Twitchy. So come on in and enjoy those, or find them on your shelves at a grocer near you. So we hope you enjoyed this review, and remember, on all of these reviews, just scan the QR code and it's going to go right to the YouTube video to get any insights. You get the full review, how it's made, all of this, my spin on it. So we hope to see you.
Is this the only one you guys are doing today? just let 4 of them. 2, 3. There you go. Okay, you can take it.